Welcome to X Files, where we discuss social issues, recent events, and everything in between. I'm Shakira, and today we have our guest.
Jizzo, how y'all doing? Blessings to the people.
How you doing today? So, what are we going to discuss today?
I think we got a good lineup of some funny things to discuss and funny topics. Let's talk about K. Michelle. And
K.Michelle, oh my goodness! Did you see what everyone is talking about with her?
yeah, so I got a hit of it. She was on, I believe, was it Shannon Sharp
Yeah,
podcast? I want to
yeah.
say
Mm-hmm.
it has some real interesting takes about relationships and how she stands with her man and his fidelity. I thought it was real interesting and unique.
Okay. Okay. I'm going to ask you as a man, what is your take on that?
Well, that's a good question. Well, to be honest, for what I've seen more males
Okay.
be active with that type of mind state.
Okay.
I do think it's a bit weird.
Okay.
Um, but I understand that times are changing, and this may just be me getting older. I believe it's something called voyeurism that
Okay.
where they sit around and watch.
Uh-huh.
And her only issue, correct me if I'm wrong, but her only issue is not that he is cheating with other women, but that if he pays their bills.
Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah,
I mean, for me as a woman, I initially thought it was like really disgusting because, in my opinion, as a woman, what's the point of being married if you're not going to be monogamous? You know what I mean? I think marriage is something sacred and we should honor marriage. Um, and then I started to think, I said, well, she is a celebrity. You know what I mean? Celebrities are known to say things for shock value, publicity, because she does have like a country album coming out, I believe. So it could be marketing, publicity, or you know, we gotta we gotta see things for what it is. You know, celebrities generally are here to shape society,
right. I
society.
agree.
You know what I mean? So
Yes.
they they are known to promote degeneracy to the masses because if people follow celebrities, so you see a celebrity do this kind of disgusting thing, then you'll start doing this disgusting thing. So I look at it from that aspect, you know.
That is a good way to look at it, and it's a shame though because I never really viewed her as a disgusting person. I'm not really familiar with her music,
Mhm.
um, but she never struck me as that type of person, to be honest.
Mhm.
Um, so, but now you see that it really doesn't have an identity.
Uh-huh.
It's faceless, those type of things, and it's more common
Yeah.
than we think, especially pertaining to the entertainment business.
Yeah.
These are common. It's almost like sex practices that they have.
That's
Because
true.
it's
Yeah. Yeah, they practice sex magic and all this kind of weird stuff and that
yeah,
yeah, in that community. So I get what
yeah.
you're saying.
Rituals, sexual rituals is the
Exactly.
word I'm looking for.
Very
Yeah,
ritualistic with every action they do. I understand that. You're right.
yeah,
I
yeah.
just, and the thing is, I had a little respect for K Michelle because, like I said, she's making country music now. I never listened to any of her R&B. I never liked her R&B music, but her country music, I'm like, okay, I like this. I'm a Southern girl. I'm from the South, so I love my country music every now and then, and I love her country music. And that was really disappointing to me to hear her say that because I thought she for, stood for something more than that. That was just
Right,
disgusting.
right,
You know,
right.
and then it was
Well,
so ignorant.
like
What did you say?
no, no. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I said, and I thought the piece was very ignorant when she's like, "Oh, they can't. He better not pay a fan's bills." It's like, what? That's
That's
your
the
only.
standard.
That's your only problem. She pay a person bills. Like disgusting.
I can't act like I wasn't surprised to hear that from her. Like I said, um, if this was something that she said for shock value, to get fans back, looking for her music and projects and stuff like that, it probably worked because, like I said, I'm not real familiar with her catalog,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm gonna go and listen to some of her music. I really love music.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but again, from the times I've seen her, and I know I can't think of any songs of hers off the top of my mind. I don't know if I've heard her music before.
Mm-hmm.
Um, it's surprising. It is. It's a little
I
shocking.
know. I know.
It's a little shocking. But I'm
So
not. I'm not trying to judge her. To each his own. She's not hurting anybody. As long as nobody's getting hurt or nothing like that. It's just surprising. People are into a lot of different things, and celebrities are no exception. They're just like us.
that's true. That's true. But I mean, my point is, where does shame become the issue anymore? I think too many people are shameless in society. You know, if she's into that, we should know about it. You know what I mean? That's not for all of us to know. That's how I see it. That she should keep that to herself. Between her and her man, whatever they want to do, keep that between you two. You know what I mean? We shouldn't have to hear about that. It's disgraceful,
To
in my
be,
opinion.
yeah, I hear you. I feel that way though about a lot of things that are being perpetuated in society when it
Mhm.
comes to gender and sexuality. I think a lot of it should just stay in the bedroom and stay at home.
Exactly.
So
Exactly. Yeah.
I agree with you wholeheartedly.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of it just don't have place. In everyday society, like every day. Where's kids around, the families around, and there's
Exactly.
certain activities that are closed door activities.
Exactly.
Certain things.
Exactly. Have some decorum about it. You know what I mean? People
Yes.
are just
Yeah.
so debaucherous. They just don't even understand that it's out of pocket to talk about. Like you said, children are going to see that. Teenagers, just no respect. But like you said, to each his own. That's what she wants to do. That's her business. But what do you think about this Kevin Hart situation? This rope.
Mm, mm. Wow. Woo.
What did we
Kevin
get
Hart.
started,
Listen.
right?
Oh man. Well, he's probably one of the more talked about things that's happening with that roast. It was, from my understanding, it did pretty well on Netflix.
Okay.
I did get a chance to watch it. I actually watched it twice.
Okay.
Um, and I thought that the roast was a good roast,
Okay.
except that those parts that everybody has problems with, which was the jokes of racism and having,
Okay.
racist, like, these comedians are more known or more popularized for being racially edgy in
Okay.
their comedy
Okay.
and their jokes.
Okay.
So I can't believe that he had no kind of idea of the type of material that they would be putting on the show.
Mhm.
Um, but I just believe that the line in the sand was racism and talking about dead people
Okay.
and people that passed away.
Okay. Well, what do you think when people say that it's comedy? It was a roast, no harm done. What do you think about that?
Well, I could say that for example, Cheryl Underwood, her apparently her husband, he passed away
Okay.
from suicide.
Okay.
And if me putting myself in her shoes wouldn't have seen any humor
Okay.
and making any kind of joke about it.
Yeah.
It
Very
would have been a
sensitive
sensitive
topic.
topic for me.
Yeah. Very.
Right. And may have been something that would have triggered me in that moment, honestly.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but if she's strong enough to take it with a smile on her face, I commend her.
Yeah.
From that aspect. But from a casual viewer and a fan of comedy, watching that, I just think that they crossed the line multiple
Okay.
times.
Okay. Okay. I got you. I understand. In my opinion, I believe that it was wrong because racism to me is like you just want an excuse to be racist. It's a road.
Right.
If you talked about Kevin Hart, maybe his looks or whatever, that's acceptable. But when you cross the line, when you start talking about other people, you know what I mean? A whole community was supposed to be about Kevin Hart. To me, that's like you just wanted an excuse, just to get off your racist jokes that weren't funny at all,
Right.
mind you. Um, and I agree with you. I think the line was crossed with the racism, and the line was crossed with talking of deceased people. That's very distasteful,
Right.
diabolical. I think the line was crossed when talking about his daughter. You know what I mean? I will say though, I like Kevin Hart, not Kevin Hart's, Cat Williams. He had the funniest segment, and his was tasteful and it made sense, and he stayed on topic. He talked about Kevin, you know what I mean, and he did it. He was on point. I think those other comedians that talked about his deceased mother, his daughter, the racism, George Floyd, I think these people were not skilled comedians. I think a skilled comedian could be funny without being raunchy and being,
Right.
debaucherous and disrespectful. You know what I mean?
Right.
You never disrespect the dead. That's unheard of.
Listen, I know that there's been probably a million jokes about Kevin Hart being short, or not really short. I just I don't see the humor in saying he's so short that you have to hang him from a bonsai tree.
Yeah,
Or lynch him. He said, lynch him from a bonsai tree. And I get that, it's a short joke, but why lynch him? Like
exactly.
I didn't I couldn't. Maybe it's me. You know what I'm saying? And then, like I said, I understand it's supposed to be edgy, and I understand that black comics can get up there and make white people jokes. They can get up there and make black people jokes. The other one, I forget what her name was. She made a couple black guy jokes about like how she likes to mess with black guys.
Okay.
It's all the fun. Those people throwing darts at each other, fine. Even the people like it was certain parts where they were throwing shots at Chappelle and Eddie Murphy wasn't there.
Okay.
Okay, that's fine. But those people who have passed away, and then the manner in which and the impact that their death had on the country, like it was headlines. Yeah, that's a bit over. That's a bit. It's a
Yeah,
bit crossing the line. I would say
I
that's
agree.
stepped over.
I agree. I
Most,
agree. I agree.
and if I was Cheryl Underwood, I couldn't have laughed that off. I'm sorry, I couldn't have laughed that off.
I mean, yeah. There's nothing all funny about that. I can't. I'm trying to rationalize and get inside her mindset and like, what was she thinking? Or I just could not do it.
I
But
couldn't do
the
it either.
old adage though. The old adage. Sometimes you have to laugh to keep from crying. So
Yes.
maybe that's her situation where she's still depressed about her husband. Unaliving himself. And she's like, okay, I'm going to laugh about it because she really wants to cry. So I'll give her that grace. You know what I mean? I'll give her that grace. But the others, no. The racism, the comments of George Floyd, the talking about his daughter, his deceased mother, no. I think it's very distasteful and unacceptable.
I mean, I'm not a body language expert, but just judging by her reaction to some of those jokes, they definitely made her uncomfortable. She didn't look like she appreciated it, but she looked like she was trying to keep the show going.
Yeah, the show must go on, right?
Yeah, yeah,
That's what they
absolutely.
say in
Let's go on.
Hollywood. Mm-hmm.
Yes. So, I respect her for being able to take it on the chin the way that she did.
Yeah,
But I wouldn't blame her for not wanting to be affiliated with those comics and
I
them projects
know.
going forward in the future. I couldn't blame her. But
I know. Yeah.
So,
And
but
Regina King, I had like so much respect for Regina King as an actress. But I just thought when she said that about his mom and she's getting GB'd, I'm not going to say the word, getting GB'd in heaven, I'm just like, what? That's not funny. Where's the humor in that?
I really seriously doubt that she wrote that for herself. She only read it, and a lot of it was they were telling her was like, "Listen, we just trying to get a check. We got to read this. This is what's up
I
there." So they
understand.
reading from the
Yeah,
teleprompter.
yeah,
Some of them are innocent. I think.
yeah. But you
You
know
know.
that Kevin Hart had to sign off. If not Kevin Hart directly, his production and his management had to sign off on the jokes. You do not get on TV, you know, and say anything out of your mouth. You have to get it approved by his team or himself before it's, you know, recorded. So I'm trying to think, either Kevin really don't care, he really don't give a fuck, okay? Or his team needs to be fired. You know what I mean? Like, they gotta
Absolutely.
go. If that were me and
Yes.
I had no idea that they were saying these kind of jokes, you know, but I didn't trust in my team to handle all the essentials of paperwork and the, you know, the jokes and, you know, verifying everything and all this stuff, and they approved that, that team would have to go. That would be it. That would be it.
Yeah, that was an epic fail somewhere along the line. But you know, after hearing that, it made me really curious about the 18 jokes that were edited out. You know, if that is what they left in the final product for us to
Wow.
see, the final product, yeah, I would really be curious to know what the 18 jokes were that they took out, and they say, "Oh, this is too much." You know,
I couldn't even
I'd love
imagine
to see that. Couldn't imagine, right?
that, because that was raunchy as it is. Like, I couldn't imagine anything worse than that.
Whew. Oh man. But you know, let's segue into a positive. Let's talk about some of the more positive. Like I said, Cat Williams did not disappoint.
No, he didn't. Never
Um,
miss. Cat
class,
never misses. Yeah.
never
Yeah.
class act.
Yeah.
He came up there. He told the truth.
Yep.
He was funny.
Yeah.
Okay, he had punchlines, he was jokes and
Yeah.
setups and everything.
Yeah.
And didn't have to discuss anything that was like, you know, over the top racist or egregious as far as talking about dead relatives and people that have passed away.
Uh-huh.
You know, who would never be able to defend themselves again. You know,
Mm-hmm.
he kept it class. He was a class act. He looked sharp. He came up there. He delivered his jokes. They were sharp. They were on point,
Mm-hmm.
and they hit home.
Yeah.
They hit home.
On point. Didn't miss.
Yes,
On site.
absolutely. Yes,
That's Cat
absolutely. The
though. That's
highlight.
Cat. Yeah, he's definitely a legend, no doubt about it. Speaking of legends, and speaking, I know I'm kind of all over the place, but who you think the top comedians in our community? Like, I'm talking about from Richard Pryor to Eddie Murphy to Dolomite to, you know, Martin Lawrence.
Like a Mount Rushmore comedians.
Yeah.
Pryor's definitely there. And you know, some people may, you know, agree or disagree, but you know, I'm 40, so you know, I would definitely we got Pryor is on there, and Red Fox is definitely
Okay, so Red Fox and who?
Red Fox and Richard Pryor.
Richard Pryor, and who else? Give me two more.
I want to try to those were the two legendary ones from back in the day when I was coming up as a kid in comedy. But let's try to stick to somebody. I would honestly say the two funniest people, and I know this might spark a little bit. Chappelle is really funny. Dave Chappelle is really funny. And the other one, I don't know if you're familiar with. He's a Muslim brother. His name is Ali Sadiq.
Don't know about him.
Really, really funny. He did a
Okay.
little time downstate. You know, he got some trouble. He did some
Okay.
time in prison.
Okay.
He came back
Okay.
and he changed his life around and started doing comedy. He goes back to the jails that he was there. He does free
Oh,
comedy shows
alhamdulillah.
for the
Okay.
inmates.
Okay.
Yeah, to give them, you know, inspiration, motivation, show them like, yo, this don't have to be the end of it.
Okay.
You
Okay.
can come out because this is America. You know, you can come out, you can turn a new leaf and
Yeah.
change your life for us. He's got a really positive message. But outside of that, he's just really, really funny.
Okay. I have to check this brother out. I never heard of him.
Yeah.
Never heard of him.
Yeah.
So
He's a mature type of comic, not like a lot of like, you know, carrot top props and that like
I
that.
got you.
He will get up there and he can entertain you with funny jokes.
Okay. Okay. All right. So those are your four for the Mount Rushmore of comedy.
Yes.
Let-
I
let-
can't wait to hear yours.
Let me think of my. Okay. Chris Rock,
Okay.
Cat
Respect.
Williams, Bernie
I
Mac,
gotta forget about that. Burning Man.
And hold on, let me. I'm trying to think of another one. Cat Williams, Bernie Mac, Rick Rock. Hold on.
Can I replace Ali Sadiq? Ali Sadiq is really funny, but yeah, Cat is a legend. I gotta put Cat in.
Why can't we put Cat on there?
Yeah,
another comedian.
How did I forget about Cat? We were just talking about.
Okay, you know what? I'm gonna be a little bit rebellious and go out the way. All right, my top 4 comedians. It's gonna be crazy.
Okay.
Cat Williams, Chris Rock, Bernie Mac, Jim Carrey.
Wow, wow. You got your thinking cap on because Jim Carrey is another one. He is a goat in the comedy.
No, listen. I'm sorry, not sorry. I think that Eddie Murphy is greatly overrated. I've seen him. I remember seeing him, doing doing Speak of Living Color is a great show, by the way. But
right, absolutely.
Doing Saturday Night Live.
Right.
I'm like, he did Buckwheat and he did this one and that one, these characters. I'm like, this is not funny. And then I saw his live stand-up comedy. I'm like, this ain't funny. Hold on. Let me revise that. I just thought about other comedians. It's got to be 4, right? Or can it be 5?
You know what? Make it 5 because, like I said tonight, Ali Sadiq is back on the list. Wait.
All right, I'm going to add Paul Mooney.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
yes.
Cat Williams, Bernie Mac, Chris Rock, Paul Mooney, Jim Carrey, top 5 comedians.
Okay. Let's talk about your list. Jim Carrey is hilarious. I love his projects, but to me, he would not be able to hold a stand-up show.
Okay.
And be in a stand-up special and really be able to rock that. Right?
Okay, I see what you're saying.
Like really be fun.
Okay.
I feel the same way about Bernie Mac.
What?
I'm sorry.
Are you serious?
I think I love the role, like Soul Man and stuff, like the roles that he did. But I don't know if he was as funny as a stand-up. I don't know.
Bernie Mac he was funny. He was funny.
He was?
Yeah.
Check
out something. Yeah.
But I love the roles. I think there's certain comedians they excel more in the comedic actor space, and I think Eddie Murphy is definitely another one like Jim Carrey. It's not, he's done stand up, but stand up is not his best work. His best work comes from playing characters when he has a good script.
Yeah, I agree with that.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, so I agree with you as far as like when you go back now and watch Eddie Murphy's Raw, it's not really. But it's raw, but it's not funny. It's not
so
like
many
hilarious.
Accolades. It's so many accolades. Like, oh, this is the funny. Oh my God, Eddie Murphy hilarious. And I'm like, and I don't think Richard Pryor was that funny. Sorry, not sorry. Because no, listen, hear me out. Paul Mooney wrote the majority of his jokes. So Paul Mooney is the, you know what I mean? It's like Richard Pryor was kind of like a puppet. I'm just saying. He
was a performer, but you definitely have a point. I guess that's why he's not on your list. I guess that's why Paul Mooney is instead of Pryor.
Exactly.
And that makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
It's just like it's not a lot of drinking, right? But it's an understood fact that he has other people that write his rhymes.
Uh-huh.
And when it comes to like, I'm just using this as an example. When it comes to like rap music, the talent is writing.
Exactly.
Being a good writer and being, creative with your dialogue and your wordplay and your And so if you don't have that, then you are just a puppet. Whereas in R&B, yes, you could have songwriters, you could have producers and people that make the music around you. But those people probably can't perform that music. You still have to be able to sing.
Exactly.
So yeah, it's like, I don't have no work for you unless someone else writes it. That's ridiculous to me.
Exactly. One
You know
upon
what I
your
mean? Like,
side. Yeah,
wait till my homeboy write me a battle rap to get back at you.
that makes no sense. Exactly.
What if he doesn't? You know
Exactly. What are you going to do
what I
about
mean?
it?
Right.
What are you going to do
You know,
about it?
so where's your talent? Where's your talent in that? If you don't write your own material,
Exactly, especially when you understand the foundation of rap. The foundation of
right,
rap, rhythm and poetry. You had to be a poet
right,
to be a rapper.
right,
You know what I mean?
right.
These people are not poets now. And that's the thing that I'm so just frustrated with modern rap, because these people are really just trash talkers. You know what I mean? They throw in drugs and sex and WAP and all this kind of crap. And it's like there's no poetry involved in it. It's no,
No,
and
it's
that's
no
taken away from
poetry.
our culture. Our culture, we all about poetry. You know what I mean?
Right. Poetry. When I listen, like, all right, and I don't want to throw shots like this because I like some of this stuff. But like Kodak Black is another artist, right? He just got locked up like two more times.
Yeah,
And he
yeah,
got like twice in a week.
yeah.
The guy is not. He is not a poet.
No.
You know, he's a drug addict.
Okay.
And that is another aspect of hip hop that's glamorized right now is being a drug addict.
Yeah.
That used to be something that we would look down on when people was like, yeah, why, so why you not trying to get healthy in drug pop?
Yeah.
But now in hip hop, it's like, all right, well, the biggest drug addicts, the ones who take the most pills and drink the most lean
Yeah.
and walk around acting like, they don't have like they had to sit in the front of the class. Those are the ones that, are getting popularity, they're getting spins, they're getting a promotion. It's like Kodak Black clearly has a drug problem.
Yes, but that goes back to what we were saying. I was saying a little while ago how celebrities are put here to shape society. They say life
You're right.
imitates art, but no, life imitates art, or art imitates life, whichever way you want to say it. But in my opinion, celebrities are put here so they can shape the mindset and the psyche of the masses. So you think about it. They had like Juice World, and they had like, what's the other one? What's it, the white guy that died? I don't know. It's some
Was it Mac Miller
yeah,
or
Mac
Post
Miller.
Malone?
Yeah, and another one. And if you listen to their rhymes, they always talking about getting high, getting zooted, this drug, that drug. And if you understand how it goes, people they shape society and they program people. So if a person is weak minded and listen to like Juice World, he's from all these drugs he's doing, it's young kids that go out there and do the same drugs. And think about who this benefits. It benefits the police department because they're having more arrests for drug arrest, drug court. It benefits the courts. It benefits jails because more people are going to jail, and it's been proven they have private equity in prisons. Even Michael Jordan has private equity in prisons, right? So
Yes, he
it's
does.
just a new hustle, right? Then you have the morticians. They're making more money because more people are ODing and dying. You have the pharmaceutical company making more money because they're selling the Narcan, right? Then you
Right.
also are controlling the population because they're younger people that are dying at an alarming rate. My sons,
Right.
when they were in high school, like I know 4 of their friends that died from ODs before they were 24. 4.
That's so sad.
And a couple of were like my sons. They would come to my home and spend the night, have sleepovers with my sons, and they were like my adopted sons, and they died. Rest in peace, Manny. Rest in peace, Cody. You know what I mean? So, rest in peace, Matthew. Matthew died. He was a younger guy. He died on his birthday. He would turn 24. He died on his birthday from drugs. And this is like we lived in an area that it wasn't like the hood or anything. It was a middle class area. You know what I mean? So, it benefits the powers that be to promote that kind of mindset and that kind of psyche. And I think that's a big problem. And we have to see it for what it is. You know what I mean?
Yes. Because I mean, like after a period of time, well, as far as when it comes to population control,
Yeah.
it's not certain things are not fast enough, like HIV, the epidemics that
Exactly.
happen, AIDS.
Exactly.
It's not fast enough. It's not as
Exactly.
effective enough.
Exactly.
Promoting the homosexual agenda and making it
Exactly.
okay